And here we go with another short attention span webinar. And with us on the phone is Kelly Malazzi, Marketing Goddess.
Thanks,
Guru,
Bill.
Genius, super genius. You are the Wile E. Coyote of print marketing. How's that for an intro?
I am just, blown away. Thanks. No pun intended.
So let's talk about mistakes. And Kelly, this is your field. And if you don't know Kelly's website, successinprint.net. And this is what Kelly does. And I wanted to share some thoughts as to what people are doing wrong. So Kelly, take it away. Number one.
Yeah, I could spend hours talking about why nobody cares about your equipment, and we always joke that you have a gray box in a gray room and all of that, but really your equipment list is not relevant anymore. We've become a very process agnostic environment, which means the customers really only care about what comes out. They care about what it's going to do for them and all of that stuff. So your equipment really, it's not what you should lead with, and nobody really wants to know it. So just please don't focus on, sending equipment lists and having that be the focus of your websites and things like that. It's not the right way to go.
And yet, Kelly, this is exactly what we do when we get a new piece of equipment, right? We send out a postcard with a picture of the equipment saying, look what we just screwed into the floor. The new Rockberger Bergoma press.
Yeah.
it's
it's understandable that you would want to do that, and there are ways to talk about the new offering without, again, focusing on the iron itself, because of course it's important to you. You spend, sometimes upwards of $1 million on this stuff, so yeah, you want to talk about it. But there are more interesting and engaging ways to do that than sending a picture of the press and, talking about it that way. So.
All right, so point number one is that your equipment is beige and it uses electricity. Don't focus on the features, just focus on the benefits. Okay, number two, Kelly, talk to me about inconsistency.
Well, it's somebody got an idea to do a newsletter, and you guys all got really excited about it and put one together, and it was going to be a monthly thing, and you sent it out, and then 4 months went by, and nobody has done anything since because everybody got busy, and there was nobody spearheading it, and while everybody wants these things, nobody wants to take ownership or accountability for it, and that's very, very common. And the same thing goes with blogs. I can't tell you how many websites I get into, and I click on the blog button, and the last time they blogged was July of 2010.
Yeah.
These things will actually do more harm than good. I would advocate that it is actually more harmful to send a newsletter with a volume number and a month and date, and then not follow that up with another one. You may as well have not done it at all. And they are work, but you really, I think we sometimes create these things into more than they actually are. I mean, if you just decided you were going to do, 2 or 3 topics in each newsletter, and Margie Dana wrote a really great blog about an, kind of a marketing schedule. It's really about putting dates on a calendar and saying, this is who's doing it and when they're doing it, and then just get it done. It's really not that difficult. And as Bill mentioned, there are people out there like myself and many, many others who can help with these kinds of things if you can't do them yourself.
But don't do just one. This is so common. It's unbelievable, especially when people put together a print newsletter. It's so much work. They get it out and they say, oh, my God, I'm never doing that again.
Right.
So just recognize the fact. If you're going to write a blog, call Kelly or call me and say, how much effort is it to write a blog? And we'll fill you in just to let you know what you're to expect.
Yep.
Okay, so Kelly, one of the mistakes is they don't do it. Why?
My old boss, one of my old bosses at a digital printing house I worked at used to say, the cobbler's kids always go barefoot, which is, which basically means we spend all this time and energy producing these fantastic marketing materials for our customers, and yet we don't have a brochure or a folder or something to go into it. They either, again, a lot of this is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy of saying it's too complicated, we don't have anyone to do it, so we're not going to do it, and it just continues to fall to the bottom of the to-do list, and it's never a priority for anybody. But these things don't have to be all that complicated. Especially today, design tends to be, a lot of design is very clean and a lot of white space. Just be simple about your message and get the message out there. But you definitely should be doing something.
Well, especially if you're touting yourself as a marketing services provider,
right.
Practice what you preach. Now, this one is interesting, and I cannot admit this one. I can't claim this one. This is something that I found through research. I love it. A marketing mistake is that they aim at everyone. But that one was so obvious in print. Yeah, we've got print. But Kelly, what's wrong with that?
Well, I mean, what this really means is that you've got a niche or several niches, a couple, 2 or 3 areas that you play in very strongly. There's vertical markets that you have a lot of success with, and that is where you should focus all of your business development, or the majority of your business development efforts. If you create a message that's too broad-reaching and talks to too many people, the people that you really want to talk to are not going to hear the message. So it is much better to have a specific message with what we call anecdotal evidence, meaning we work with real estate firms, and these are the kinds of things that we do for them. These are the kinds of problems that they have, and these are the solutions we've come up with and the results of those projects that relate to these people specifically, that's very concrete, and will produce a much better return on your investment with regard to marketing and messaging. So focus, 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 stay where you're strong is a much better approach than toss something out to the entire world and hope that a couple people, will bite on it.
Okay, that's 4 down, 2 to go. This next one is that people, this one's kind of backwards. You think that you are something, and that's the message you put out there, but you're really not. So what is the message that you need to put out, Kelly, and why is it important to talk to your own customers about that?
Well, it's about perception, right? It's about the fact that you may think of yourself as the go-to people for a particular service, but what your customers are viewing you as is actually just as important, if not more important. And we have to really remember here that our customers are they suffer from amnesia quite a bit. They forget who we are and what we do for them because we're not as important to them as they are to us. So it's very important to kind of continually be producing a message and making sure that people understand who you are and what you do. So this can be done in the way of a mission statement, very consistent messaging, maybe a little tagline that you use. You put it everywhere. You put it in the signature of your email. Every email that goes out, you put it at the bottom of all of your invoices so that you are continually and persistently, but yet pleasantly, bombarding people with the message that this is who we are. And again, if you don't know what that is, I would lock myself in a room with key players and not leave until you understand. And that might require surveying your customers, going and having some interviews with some customers, or using a third party to do some actual data collection and data analysis to figure out, where you are in the world and what that actually means.
So originally, this one was 5 marketing mistakes, and then I came up with this one. And this, I think, is a marketing mistake. Did you agree with me, Kelly, that it's a mistake just to be one-dimensional?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are so many other ways to be out there. And this, this kind of tails into what we talk about when we talk about a prospecting plan, too. It's, yeah, you definitely don't want to concentrate on the fact that you don't want to just use print, but you certainly, and this is really about outbound messaging and everything to do with kind of how you present yourself, that yes, you should have a presence on LinkedIn. Yes, you should be tweeting. Yes, you should have a blog and a newsletter and anything that you can possibly think of to push that message out to people. As our customers and as the people in our world continue to be younger and younger, they are vastly, vastly more interested in things like mobile marketing. They use tablets. They use all these different things. So we want to stay well-versed in what those options are, and we want to make sure that we're everywhere they are.
But I want to get back to number 2, because you think of all the outlets and all of the real estate there is to cover when you're getting a marketing message out there. And first of all, get an idea of the amount of time it's going to take you to get this thing done. Maybe you don't want to be on every single outlet, but make certain that the ones you pick, you're going to commit to and do it on a regular basis, or find someone to do it on a regular basis. As Kelly said, it is work, and I've got we've got, Kelly and I both have blogs. We have the Ghost blog. We have the Monday Morning Sales Tip. We've got the short attention span webinars. There's an awful lot of content, and content is absolutely king. So, well, there's just some information, and the mistakes we make as marketing printers will hopefully help you to do it right. And again, I would invite you to check out Kelly's successinprint.net website for more information on that and also her blog. So giving my friend Kelly some love on this and some props.
Thanks, Bill. Nice plug. Thank you very much.
Sure. You know what, sales guys? We got to watch out for you marketing people. All right, everybody. Well, thanks very much, and we'll talk to you on the next short attention span webinar.